Alright, what up you guys? Coach David here with Metro Jiu-Jitsu. So I wanted to make a video real quick. And well, it's not going to be real quick. It's going to be a long form video. So if you got a few minutes, you want to throw this on the background, dope. If you want to hit the follow, subscribe button, sweet. If you don't want to do any of that and you want to go watch some chicks twerking, I suppose you can do that as well. Although I'm not even sure how you would have found my page if that's what you're into. But my name is Coach David with Metro Jiu-Jitsu. I want to talk to you guys about just the growing sport of Jiu-Jitsu. I wanted to kind of chat about that a little bit and reasons people join, the types of people who join Jiu-Jitsu, the types of people who thrive at Jiu-Jitsu, and if you should consider it. I think there are a few exceptions in which you would not be a suitable fit for Jiu-Jitsu in general, so we can kind of chat about those and the reality of that. But they're going to be few and far between. So first off is Jiu-Jitsu at large. I've noticed it's got this, if you see a grown man wearing a gi outside of, I don't know, a Hollywood set, it's kind of got this stigma of like, you kind of like look like those karate instructors, and it's kind of a running joke. And then, guys will tell you one reason or the other why it's lame. Some chicks will even tell you why it's lame a little bit. I would not let, if that's a stigma you have, I wouldn't let it. I would get over it first and foremost. Because there's anyone who, if you've done any gi jiu-jitsu or even seen it, that's a really violent sport, violent activity, throws, chokes, joint locks. And then we get into the who should train jiu-jitsu. It is spreading like wildfire. Not because of the benefits that are at face value, right? A lot of people, they get in, and we run ads for them too, right? Get in shape, lose weight, what have you. Which it'll help with that. I've been, I haven't trained now. I'm out of town at the time of this recording. I haven't trained in about 4 days, and it shows, man. Like just that regular attendance of, showing up, getting a good sweat in, rolling with the boys, and it'll help with that. But that's not the main reason I train. It's not the main reason I know most people train. A lot of them train. Just talked to this guy today. He saw my shirt, top mount shirt, and he was like, you train? And so he was, a cop, not retired yet, but he's like, dude, I get into this because of my mental health. He's like, I've seen some stuff, it's just messing with my psyche, and that's why they get into it. That's why they get into it. And a lot of, if you take jiu-jitsu outside of what it was intended for, or if you take jiu-jitsu outside of just the face value, there's going to be no other real reason that'll keep you training that long other than the mental health aspect. You train for self-defense, you're good after a few years, and then probably be all right, though it is a perishable skill. But outside of the mental health, that's what keeps me from chewing people out in public every day, man. I just get, I don't know about everyone else, but I get easily agitated with people and their tones and I just get agitated, and it's a shortcoming on my end, not necessarily, or at least not just on their end. And so that kind of helps me deal with it a little bit, the jiu-jitsu side of it. The mental health is huge, and I think it goes more to, it's certainly a better alternative than self-medicating, whether through alcohol or drugs or cheap sex in some cases with guys, video games. Nothing wrong against them. I just don't have the bandwidth for video games. I don't have the time to be competitive in video games, because if you're going to compete in video games, right, you got to be committed. Otherwise, some 12-year-old over in Taipei is going to serve you your lunch. So you got to be on point with that if you're going to compete in video games. Jiu-Jitsu, the far majority of Jiu-Jitsu practitioners are non-competitors. They're non-competitors, so you don't even have to sweat it. So that is what I would say right away is not a. That's a good. That's a good reason to get into it, is because you're not to say you're just like everyone else, but like you don't have to. You can take it as serious or as casual as you want. I would say casual. You still got to train at least minimum 2 days a week, preferably 3. But I mean that's what would get it started, in my opinion. And then if you take competing, like where else? What other sport? I'll give you an example. The men who got me into jiu-jitsu, like I watched them and I was like, I want to do that. Were Salo and Sanshi Habero. Okay, they were like legends, of the sport, ADCC, champs, worlds, the whole nine, like legit legends and some of the biggest names in the sport. I earned my black belt, and then I went to compete at Worlds or Nogi. I can't remember which one, Worlds or Nogi, but Zanchi was in my bracket. I was like, how does that even happen? Because I guess we're close enough in age, or he fought down or something, but he was in my bracket. And then another time, Lovato Jr. was in my bracket. And I'm like, man, like, how does, like, that would be the equivalent of, like, you're into basketball, and then you sign up for a tournament, and you got LeBron, you're facing a team with LeBron on it, Like, that's kind of where else you get to do that? And it's really cool, because then when you talk to these guys, I mean, it's a small community, which is a huge benefit of it as well. It's another huge benefit of the jiu-jitsu. Like it's very real that you can meet the largest names in the sport. Yeah, I mean, you can meet them for like, go do a summit, go do a Gordon Ryan seminar for $80-$90. I don't even know what the process would be like if I wanted to meet someone like LeBron James or Michael Jordan or Shaquille O'Neal. Like, I don't even know, like, you got to contact the manager, and I don't know. Like, I literally haven't got a clue. So the benefits of training jiu-jitsu like that are huge, and they far outweigh anything else. So those are a couple really cool things about training jiu-jitsu that I like, but the mental health is the number one thing for me. So if you're thinking about it, now we talked about restrictions, like who should not train jiu-jitsu? Well, I would say first and foremost, anybody who has been, if a doctor has told you explicitly you're not cleared, probably listen to them, unless like you think you know something about your body that your doctor just doesn't know. That's I'm thinking of like slipped discs or vertebrae or spinal stuff. That could go south really quick. But don't let age deter you. I mean, we've got 40, 50, 60-year-olds, and some of these guys, man, they've got that old man strength of like they've just been like picking stuff. They got these, just these working hands, and like, so that's a big deal. That's a big deal, and I wouldn't let age deter me at all from that. Someone else who should not train jiu-jitsu or isn't ready to train jiu-jitsu, I would say, is not ready to train jiu-jitsu. I would say if your motive isn't right, like if your motive is not right to train jiu-jitsu, you want to hurt somebody, you want to do it to get back at your high school bully. Fun fact, I've had a couple. One of my bullies, like the only fight I got in, his name is David Cieslak, and I think he reached out to me and we just kind of cleared the air a while back. And then another young man I had beef with, he's a brown belt now. He might be black belt. He trains in Toledo. I think that's, if your motive is to like get back at those guys, that's just a wrong motive. It's just a wrong motive, period. And then that's going to come through in your aggression towards your teammate who you roll with. That's going to come through. If your motive is to find a girlfriend or a wife, go and just about anywhere else, right? Like that's not what the mats are for. That's not what the mats are for. If your motive is, or if you just have wrong motives, if your motive is to you know, if you're, and I would say if you're if you can't approach it with because there is this learning curve that happens through training, depending on schools, and we see this because we're a relatively new school at Metro, only 6 years, so like we can't have any homegrown black belts. Like they just, how are you gonna get a black belt in 6 years unless you're BJ Penn or Gordon Ryan or Kit Dale or one of these guys, if you are approaching it with a selfish motive and like I'm a paying customer and I'm only here to get out what I can and then I'm gonna jump ship, and you're treating it like a transactional thing, I think you're just setting yourself up for disappointment, because I know a lot of good coaches, they don't treat it like that. They don't treat it like a transactional. And if they do, then you claim it's a shitty culture, right? Because, all right, class is 8:30. Thank you guys for coming. You can now leave, right? So many coaches I know, they like, hey, Jimmy, Colin, whatever, get the lights on your way out. Like they just leave. It's their members and students home away from home, so they treat it like a familial thing. But yet when it comes time to handle business stuff, like members make it weird. So if you're like looking at it as a very transactional thing, well, I pay a gym membership to Planet Fitness, and that's just not, you're going to be disappointed, man, because any good gym with a good culture is going to have like this familial community type base to it. And if you try to treat it transactionally, like most school owners I know, like they'll handle it big, all right, cool, and then like bounce. Like you're not going to get the most out of it that you can. But if you come into it looking to like, what can I contribute, but then also what can I, obviously you're looking for something, or you want to get something out of it. I get that, but also what can I contribute? Because after 6, 7, 8, 9, 12 months, you're going to know more than the trial guy or a trial girl or whatever. And then so there's going to be a point in which, like, there are going to be days where you do more helping and coaching someone who knows less than you than you are getting that back out. And that's what you're signing up for in jiu-jitsu. And if you're not there for that, if you're like, bro, that's not what I'm here for, sorry, not sorry, then again, you're gonna be pretty disappointed with it. So those are things that I would take like serious audit of. Like, what are you just looking to go very transaction? I mean, those gyms, they exist. Not one I really want to train at, but they exist. Those are the people I would say certainly like not really in a position to train. I think that's it. I think that's all I got. Those are my thoughts on this one. I'll make more of a list. You disagree with anything I said, let me know. If you agree with it, let me know. I mean, we can have an open, again, conversation. It's just one man's thoughts and opinions. So, guys, I'm Coach Dave. I'll also add this, because we're committed to growing the community. If you have any questions, and you may not live in the Michigan or Detroit, you may not even live in the States. You need to find a place near you. Just shoot us a comment or a DM. We'll help you find one, certainly, and get you training and help you kind of decipher the best one. And I'll also add this. It's important to check out a few, because it's not like buying a pair of sneakers, right? Like it's very interpersonal. You make sure you vibe with the coaches, the community, and just because someone is highest rank doesn't necessarily mean like that's the best coach for you. Notice I add that for you, because someone may. I'll use Danaher, right? John Danaher. I personally love his breakdown. I mean, his analytical, like he will go down the rabbit hole, man. Like super, just technical. I love that. But other people are like, you've lost them after the first 20, 30 seconds, That may not be the best coach for everybody. So find the one that's best for you. And I'm gonna get flack for this, for like saying John Danaher's not a good coach. I'm just saying, like, if you've got the attention span of a goldfish, maybe take more of an ego approach. Like find someone like Greg Saunders. I should get that right. Guys, I'm Coach David with Metro Jiu-Jitsu. As always, we'll see you on the mats.